welcome to another episode of the British Bears Show, to Victory Week Mark 2, which is a bit weird saying that as a Bears fan. But yeah, this is the British Bears Show. We're covering the Bears and giving it a bit of a British accent. Yeah, how are you doing, Jason, today anyway, mate?
Fantastic, thanks. Yeah, always good for Victory Week, isn't it? Two in a row. Over 500 for the first time in about 2 years, I think. So, yeah, happy days.
Awesome. Yeah, it's such a weird experience, isn't it, being a Bears fan and winning 2 in a row? But yeah, let's get on with the show, man. And as we always start with my favourite part of the team is the offence. Wow, what a performance by the Bears offence on Sunday. That was probably the most complete offensive display I've seen from the Bears in a long, long time. Caleb were absolutely amazing. Threw over 300 yards, no interceptions, a couple of touchdowns to DJ Moore. I think he played really in himself. His checkdowns are great. I mean, them 2 touchdown passes to DJ Moore were absolutely gorgeous, especially the first one down the right sideline. He just cut in. And it just seems like he's getting it. He's getting the NFL game now. You know, they're definitely calling a scheme which is more sort of friendly for him. And another thing what I really liked as well, what they did on Sunday, was the no huddle. That was such a good idea, because that's what they do in college. You know, they don't huddle up in college. They just look to the side and they have like different signs from the coaches for what play they want them to do. So that's what he's used to doing. And I just think that worked so well on Sunday, because it really put their defense on the back heel. I mean, they were absolutely shattered by the first quarter, their defensive line. I'm really happy that we kept to the running game. You know, Swift got over 70 yards rushing, which were really cool. And even the offensive line, which has been our biggest sort of, moan of the season, played pretty well, sort of, you know what I mean? So overall, I would have sort of ecstatic on Sunday night. You know, it was such a complete team win. But what were your thoughts about the offense, Jason?
Yeah, totally. Like you said, about it was all 3 phases, wasn't it? So the offense, yeah, fantastic. Like you said, he's learning fast. It's like you whisper it quietly, but we might have ourselves a quarterback.
I know. It's so weird, isn't it? Don't tempt me, man.
Yeah, I know. Knock on wood, all that. You know, it's 5 games in. The thing is, I never get too high after a win, even though I was pretty excited on Sunday, and I never get too down after a defeat, because it's one game at a time.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. So the biggest thing is this ball security for me. Is keeping hold of the ball. Again, no interceptions, over 300 yards, passer rating of 126.2. So his best one yet. And I love the fact that he had six different receivers had 2 or more receptions in terms of like fullback to receivers to tight ends, which means he's spreading it around. Exactly like you said, he's just seeing what's available and taking it. He's not trying to, 60-yard bombs every play. He's basically seeing what he's got and marching down the field. And that's what I loved. I made notes of that about the first 2 drives for touchdowns, 70 yards and 80 yards. And that's exactly what you want from an NFL quarterback, is just march down the field. Just keep it rolling. Keep the play moving. Move up the field. Get your touchdown. Really impressed with that. He looked like a proper NFL quarterback, didn't he, on Sunday?
He did, mate. He did. And I think that as well. Sorry, Jay. I think that's what's been lacking with our QB play over the last, 3 or 4 years with Trubisky and Fields. That he never felt like they could march down the field, like especially like Fields last year. He never felt comfortable that he could actually do what Khalib's doing now. Do you know what I mean? Just taking his shots, playing with himself. So that's the bit what I'm sort of really sort of happy about, is how he's just improving every week. Like like the stat you just give then. Compared to what the percentage, his quarterbacks, QB and all that ratings were at the start of the season, compared to what they are now, it's like night and day, isn't it?
Yeah. His passer rating was the 3rd best in the NFL this week. Only two were better. I think one of them was Joe Burrow, and I can't remember the other one. Might have been Baker Mayfield. It was Mayfield and Burrow. Yeah, the only 2 quarterbacks with a better passer rating this weekend than Caleb. So he's keeping hold of the ball. He's moving the chains. He's picking his passes. And oh man, his arm is unreal, isn't it? This release. You say about the 2 touchdowns to Moore. The second one, that's an elite pass. That is an elite pass. I just loved it. the route was great. He looked off the safety, didn't he? So he took his eyes to the right, looked him off, spotted DJ, and it's like there was almost no wind up. His feet planted, and that ball went on a frozen rope to a place where DJ could get it and the defender couldn't. That is a fantastic pass. It's just, I love it. Yeah, I was squealing around on the telly. It's very good.
The good thing about that, he's got like a really sort of contained action. He hasn't got like a massive wind up, so he's got that sort of Aaron Rodgers flick of the wrist sort of thing. And it's just great seeing him being more and more comfortable. It was great. I know, like, the Carolina Panthers, they had a lot of injuries and on their defensive line and stuff like that. But, I thought the offensive line, that were probably like their best game of the season. And I think a lot of it to do with that is that we didn't have Nate Davis in as right guard. Even the fucking started playing well on Sunday. You know what I mean? Fucking fire! Fucking fire! You didn't hear that?
That was hilarious, wasn't it? That's so funny. A lot of this, Caleb's response was, "Yeah, I know, man. I got it." He's like,
"Yeah, how cool is that?"
He's reading defenses, but yeah, it made me laugh. It was hilarious. But just to say about the O-line, you're right. They are playing better, and obviously a large part of it is the fact that we weren't facing the same sort of pass rush that we were getting against the Titans, against the Texans. So you got to take it as it comes. But the thing is, it's a professional team. You got to play them with respect. They're still professional athletes. Any given Sunday, if you're not on your game, they're still pros that can take advantage. So weeks 1 to 4, we'd given up 16 sacks, which is second most in the NFL. This game, we gave up only 1 sack, and it was only 8 pressures. So the O-line had quite a good game. Again, with the team that they're presented with. What's Carl saying here? Let's have a look. Fun fact. I mean, is this offense related? Fun fact, fire means 5-man blitz, traditionally with a nickel corner coming on the blitz. Okay, thanks very much. I've learned something today, Carl. But yeah, we kind of figured out he was calling out a blitz, didn't he? But that's there we go, a bit of knowledge. It was the nickel back blitzing potentially. But no, the line played better. I loved the more aggressive play calling, just getting the ball down the field, whether it's running backs or not. Mixing Roschon in is better. Still unsure why we're not seeing Khalil Herbert. For a guy that led the NFL in yards per carry a couple of years ago, we're not seeing him. It's just there's some talk about it being lining up for a trade. They're trying to keep him safe in case someone's interested in trading for him. But I can't see that because you need 3 running backs. Because like last year, we didn't have any because they all got injured. They get banged up. So there's a chance that if Swift gets injured with his history of injury, then we need another one to go in, and Herbert's the ideal guy. So
I mean,
not giving him reps, man. I'm not sure I like that. But
I think he took. I definitely know that he did take 1 kickoff return later on in the game. But it's baffling me because, and I tell you what made me laugh as well. I think it might have been when Johnson got like his first touchdown. I did feel a little bit sorry for Swift. He had that really great run to get him into the red zone. I remember they took him out and he literally only had a yard to get for his touchdown. I thought, oh man, that's a bit harsh on the old boy. You know what I mean? But I mean, Roach Dodson's a bigger guy, he's a bigger back, But I just thought, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? Poor guy, he's just made all that effort. You're not going to give him a touchdown, but he did get one later on in the game.
Exactly. They gave him his flowers at the end of the last one, didn't they? When he had that brilliant screen pass he took to the 1 yard line and they just left him in. That was that one. That was due for him. He got those yards and thought, yeah, go on, you can punch it in. But yeah, Roschon's the battering ram, isn't he? He's the sort of go ahead, just trucking kind of like up and down running back. So yeah, fast start. That's what I put in here as well with them. That was our first touchdown in the first quarter this season. We tend to sort of start slowly on offense, but this time we were at it, and I'm really pleased with that. And what I really loved was the 55 seconds to go. You're up a few points. That's a great time to practice your 2-minute drill, and they did it, didn't they? That is, again, that's what your good quarterbacks do. Is you've got 55 seconds, you had your timeouts left, and you march down the field and get a touchdown. That's just brilliant. A great experience. I'll have that in the memory bank now. He knows that he's got less than a minute to get down the field, potentially end of a game for a game-winning score. It's good reps to get inside him, and I love that kind of attitude that we were moving it up the field, not too much messing about side to side, just aggressive play calling, spreading the receivers around. It's great.
I mean, the only time I thought really the offense looked a bit sloppy, like in the third quarter. Do you know we got really to their goal line and we had like like a runner penalty is what pushes right back. And the offense is, I'll get into that a little bit like, oh God, it's not going to be like when we played the Denver Broncos last year where we had a massive lead and we lost it. The third quarter felt a little bit like, their D was starting to hold us a bit more, and the play calling got a little bit overly safe. But luckily we managed to pull it out at the end. But yeah, I think the offense should take a lot of strength and a lot of sort of positivities from Sunday, especially the QB, man. He just looks so sort of on the speed of the game. You know what I mean? It just looks like he's reading things quick. The play calling has been a lot better. We're getting the plays a lot quicker, especially the no huddle. So that means he's got time to see the defense, and also they could change plays because they're not in a huddle. So I hope they keep doing that. You know what I mean? That'll be awesome to watch live if they're just pounding it for 70-yard drives with no huddle, and it just breaks down with the defensive spirits, and they all look gassed to me, their defense by the end of the first quarter, really. But anything more you want to add about the offense?
No, you're breaking up a little bit occasionally there, mate. So I take it you asked me if I wanted to add anything else about the offense. Yeah. Just that we're seeing more of these of Swift, aren't we? So this is what we expected: the dual threat back out of the backfield, so receiving and running yards. We're getting him the right sort of blocking schemes to get him to use him as a runner, which is what he is. He's a sort of jiggy-jaggy kind of flitting around. He's not a sort of battering ram, is he? You need to give him space to juke and get past and make his cut. So we're using him more effectively, which is to do with the play calling, the improving blocking from everyone. So I watched Tom Thayer's little piece today in a couple of minutes, and when Swift broke that one down the left-hand side, it was Komet that sealed the edge with Jones and then Everett coming around the outside, I think it was, or the centre Shelton. So yes, it's more effective, and we're getting more what we expected to see out of him, which is great. Which is a dual threat. He's great for a check down, and then obviously DJ had a great day, didn't he? Targeted 8 times, 5 receptions for 105 yards, 2 touchdowns for an average of 21 yards a catch. It's always going to happen, won't it? And they must feel sick looking at that, mustn't they? The Panthers. Watching the number 1 pick we got with the quarterback we got with their number 1 pick throwing to who was their best receiver for 2 touchdowns must be like, man.
It's like rubbing salt in a wound, isn't it? Really,
totally.
Like, how well we got, how well the Bears did with that trade. How many players we managed to get from that trade and getting Caleb and a lot of the top players what we've got. But yeah, I know what I mean. I've been trolling through the sort of Bears groups on Facebook and social media, and it just surprised. You still get like, oh well, it rolling the Panthers, but you've got to be. They did what a good team's supposed to do to a bad team.
Exactly.
And that to me proves that we're a better team we were last year. Because last year, I don't think we would have got that many points. I think we might have collapsed in the third quarter. You know what I mean, with how the offense were going last year. So I feel like I knew they were going to have a bit of a breakout in that game against the Panthers. I just thought, we're miles better than them on paper. We're at home, and just open up the playbook a bit more on offense, and it happened. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so glad that he got over 300 yards passing. I think he's like the first Bears rookie to have 2 sort of 300-yard passing games, not in a row, but in a season. God, we've had some terrible quarterbacks.
I've got a great stat for you later on. I'm saving that one related to that. But yeah, you're right.
But I'm just really happy to play calling. Really happy with the offensive line. Well, happier with the offensive line. I still think Braxton Jones is still struggling with the bull rush. I really like Pryor, and really I'd rather have Pryor and Murray starting and say Jenkins and Nate Davis, because Jenkins has had a terrible year. He's injured again, and we all know about Nate Davis. And they'll just seem to be like a bit more hungry, if you know what I mean. Them 2 guys when they get into the lineup. So, I even thought the centre had a good game as well. I know he didn't really have the pressure on him like he did, especially against the Titans, where they had, 2 huge defensive tackles against him. But I think he had probably his best game of the year as well. So, yeah, well, we'll move on from the offense and we'll hit our defense up.
Look out.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Foster.
I got to ask you this question before, because you said you're going to move on from the offense. Would you be opposed to having Wright and either Tevin Jenkins next to him or Bill Murray, the center Shelton, and then either Tevin Jenkins or Bill Murray as the left guard, and putting Matt Pryor, which he's played left guard before with the 49ers and a couple other teams?
Right.
So I didn't know if you guys knew any of this, because Pryor has played all 4 positions in NFL games.
Right.
I don't remember how effective he's been at tackle, but I believe he started 2 or 3 games in a row there at one time. So I just wanted to throw that in because I'm really excited about Bill Murray. Murray and Tevin Jenkins had the highest PFF grade for the offensive line this last weekend. I'll shut up and get out of your ways, but I had to ask you.
No, that's right. Yes.
I'm glad for the tip, mate, because I didn't know all that. But
yeah, it's if you see I know PFF grades are sort of pinch of salt kind of stuff. I know some people, it's an indicator that tells you a little bit of something that we're not sure what sometimes. But our offensive line graded out amazingly from Sunday. Now, admittedly, like I said, it was the Panthers. So, but at the same time, they all had a really good grades. Pass blocking was successful. The really high percentage of pass block win rates. Couple of sort of slightly lower ones, but I think Murray and Tevin Jenkins actually was scoring really highly until he got injured.
So he got injured, right?
Yeah, an ankle now, isn't it? So again, we don't know exactly what it'll be. Injury reports out tomorrow, so an ankle could be all sorts of things. It could be like a few days to a few weeks, but he's been disappointing so far, hasn't he? In a contract year, you expect people to start playing out, and he's really showing out, but he's not been playing his best, because when he on it, the last couple of seasons on his day, he's been the best lineman on our team for sure.
Oh yeah, totally. So
it's been disappointing.
And I think it was quite sort of showing that the Bears weren't willing to discuss his contract until the bye week. So obviously they're thinking, the management are thinking is, well, you've really got to prove that you can stay on the field. Not only play well, because that's the biggest downside of Jenkins, that he's never played a full season of games. So I think that's why we did we'll wait until the bye week to talk about. And I just don't think I don't think they're gonna get him back next year. I think he's just too injury prone. And I just hope that they track heavily on the offensive line, in the next draft next year. But we'll move on to the defense, man. Fuck me, what a fucking defense the Chicago Bears have got at the moment. We've got the pass great. The fucking Dexter and Big Cuz Billings up the middle. Dexter got another sack. Billings got his first sack of the season. I thought the defensive backs played amazing. I think the defensive backs are definitely the best group in the NFL, or up there with the best group. We do still get gashed on some running plays up the middle, but that might just be due to the system we're playing, that we only have 2 linebackers. It's more like a nickel system to play, what flu space, but I thought the defense played absolutely awesome again, mate. What are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, just they're keeping us in games. It's like that's now 21 points or fewer in 11 straight games. So if your defense is keeping the other team below 20, you got a chance of winning, haven't you? Even with an average offense. So they're just lights out, aren't they? I love it. You're right, they are getting gashed a bit. There's been some long runs. Again, we'll talk about that for the next game, but there's been a few times where they've let a few go. The average run yards per carry has been disappointing, considering, like I say, the last couple of years we've had a pretty top run defense. Yeah. I think I've got it here. Our yards per game is like 18th in the league against the run.
Right.
So not as good as we have been, but I think they seem to be making adjustments. I think it seems to happen quite early, and then they make good adjustments in the second half, and they seem to be able to shut it down. That's the sort of impression I've got from my recollection of the games, is that it happens early on and then they kind of lock it down after. But that's the thing that could be better, I think. But other than that, I mean, you're right. Our defensive backfield, I think it's got to be one of the best in the NFL, hasn't it? And we are 6th in the league in pass defense in terms of yards per game. So perhaps the Ravens unit, everyone says they're pretty good, and they are. So I think our defense is just, we were all worried about the defensive line, weren't we? So Dexter's having his breakout that we wanted, which is him and Billings together in that middle. Just brilliant, aren't they? And then we get the pass rush from the other side of Sweat. We're getting Taylor and Booker, and then Walker's just showing out again, isn't he? I always thought he got ignored a little bit when people talk about the off season, but he's improved massively since Sweat joined last season. So yeah, we're in good shape really defensively. Just got to keep it going. Obviously, Brisker's out now, isn't he? This season, it is his game. Unsurprisingly, because I thought that as well. As soon as the man, he just knocked the guy out, didn't he? Holy fuck! He just.
Sorry, mate. I do like Brisker, but he's getting to that point where, well, how many more times are you going to injure yourself? Do you know what I mean? And the thing as well is, I know it's a big hit, but I'd rather him make the tackle, wrap him up. Because there's quite a few times since he's been at the Bears where he's gone for the big shoulder hit and the guy's just bounced off it. You know what I mean?
There was one in this game, wasn't there? There was that pass to the left-hand side and he made the hit. The guy stayed on his feet and made another sort of 5 to 10 yards. So sometimes he wanted to just wrap up his open field tackle. But yeah, I mean, that's his style. We're Bears fans. We like a good hit, but you've got to look after yourself. He's missed 2 games every season, hasn't he? I think from concussions or something. But he's just that's his kind of play, you know. Do you try and take it out of him? Would he lose something? I don't know. But what's different this year is that we've got Jonathan Owens who can step in. Who I don't think is going to be any real drop off in performance, you know. Carl's saying there, not sure he agrees. So Brisker forced a fumble that led to points, much more valuable than a simple tackle. So in that respect, on that one, yeah. So I mean, you can argue the point that
I'm looking at the overall picture. You know, I'm on about.
You mean generally his play? Yeah. So not just that play, but
we could keep the guy healthy throughout the season. I'm not just on about single play.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's true. You know, he needs to try and protect himself when he's doing that. But I don't want to stop him start. You know.
I don't want to stop him being aggressive. No.
Because he saw the effect on their receiver twice, wasn't it? He backed out of a ball because he was thinking he was going to get smashed coming over the middle. 2 plays I remember where he was just like, oh, you can see him backing off, thinking, I'm going to get creamed here if I catch this. So love it. Yeah, just get him scared to come across the middle. That's it. You better bring your lunch money when you come and play the Bears. You're going to be in a game. So yeah, absolutely love it. So 4 sacks, 3 takeaways again, 6 passes defended, 3 tackles for loss, and 10 QB hits. And Foster put it up earlier, didn't he? Where was your comment here? Panthers. I said it last week, didn't I? About the Panthers O-line. They're actually pretty good in terms of their performance. They kept their QB pretty clean. They didn't give up much pressure, and I said that was going to be an area to watch. And yeah, they got after him, and that's good performance, which is going to be useful for this coming week, which we'll talk about later. Yeah. But yeah, our defense is just great. So there are many people were saying that they were worried that Dalton is obviously in and made a difference. They scored 60 points in their last 2 games. Experienced pro, can pick apart holes in your zone, etc., etc. And we held him to 136 yards passing, and eventually they took him out to give Bryce Young some snaps. So I think we neutralised him pretty well, to be fair. So brilliant performance. Yeah.
See, I mean, he got. Sorry, mate, go on. I was going to say, so, I mean, he ended up passing for less than 200 yards, didn't he? Dalton did. I think he only got like 150 odd yards or
136.
Right. So, I mean, that's amazing, isn't it, really, to keep a guy down like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think Eberflus is a really good defensive coordinator. I think he really is. I think he's probably one of the best in the league. I think really, when he gets out of the defense and just as long as we don't get injuries and stuff like that, it's just it's proper monsters in the big way sort of stuff. You know what I mean? That's what I love. It's like when me and you first got into the Bears with the 85D. So I'm happy with all that. So I think it's that time of the show.
No, not yet. You wait there, young man. You wait there. I just want to go over quickly because what I'm loving about the defense again before we move on is that every week someone or 2-3 people put in a performance. You know, there's no. That's the quality of what they've built here is that someone might have a quiet game, but someone else is going to be bringing it every week. So Dex again is having his breakout, which is just I'm so happy, man. It's what we wanted to see from him. He's come back in amazing shape, hasn't he, from the off season? He's now second in the NFL in interior lineman in terms of sacks behind DeMarcus Lawrence at the Giants. He got another sack this weekend, 2 tackles, 4 QB hits, and he recovered a fumble. And then good for Kevin Byard. He got his first interception, didn't he? Everyone else was picking them off. But yeah, we know he's a ball hawk. I think he leads the NFL in interceptions since 2017, joint top. 6 tackles, 5 solo, a tackle for loss, those are really important. Those screen passes can be broken for first downs, but He, again, tackle for a loss behind the line of scrimmage from a screen pass. Those are really important plays. Pass deflection as well and an interception. So, yeah, those are my big shout-outs. Pro Football Focus had us going into the game as the best pass rush, 9th best pass rush, going into the game. The Panthers, 3 sacks, 20 pressures. That was what we got. No, that's what we didn't want to get. We got 20 pressures. But anyway, enough of that one. But no, brilliant. Yeah, great stuff. I'm really, really happy with the defense. The only thing I think they can keep getting better at is the run defense, like you said. They average 7.5 yards a carry against them, which is just
really? Wow.
Yeah. But I guess that's because the touchdown, wasn't it? Chuba Hubbard took 30-odd yards for a touchdown. But even if you take that one out, that play out, they still average 4.9 yards a carry, which for me is, we'd like to get that down, wouldn't we? So, because if they do a run, make 5 yards on first down, you're in 2nd and 5, and it's like we need to start getting teams behind the chains. But with our pass defense as being like 6th in the league at the moment in terms of yardage, it's a balanced off defense, and we're just getting great pressure everywhere. So,
do you know what we are? Do you know what we are overall defense rating in the NFL? What the overall rating is?
In terms of yards per game, we're 7th.
Just like like the overall stats. Like, are we sort of in the top 10 as overall defense? We must be.
In the yards per game, we're 7th best. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
And in where are we? Defense in points per game, we're 5th.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Average of 17 points a game against us, which is 5th in the NFL at the moment.
So,
yeah, happy days.
Great. Right then, the time of the show. The time of the show is for the man to do his Jason stat bomb. So let's fire away, Jason.
Right. Awesome. So there's some great stuff going on here now. So I've seen it on Swifty's video we did a couple of days ago, but we're talking about Bears rookies and their passing yards for the season. All right. So in 5 games, Caleb Williams has now had the 6th most passing yards in a season for all Bears rookie quarterbacks.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's passed more yards than pretty much everyone apart from 5 have in their rookie entire season in 5 games.
He's halfway there. God.
Yeah, 1,091 yards. Mitch Trubisky had 2,193. That's our best rookie performance by a QB in terms of yardage. And obviously, Justin Fields is behind that with 1,870. So in 5 games, he's already 6th on the entire list of our franchise history for QB rookie yards in the season. Mad.
That proves how we've been a quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I know, it's a low bar, isn't it? Let's just remember that. But, it is what it is. He's going to break records, man. He's going to break records for the Bears.
Oh, definitely, man.
So another one is, like I said, 126.2 passer rating this week. It's the highest by a Bears rookie quarterback since at least 1970 with the stats that they were keeping. The previous high was Jim McMahon with 121.1 in December 1982 against the Rams. So, yeah, take that. And then this is my favorite, right? And I've got to shout out to the guy. There's a guy on Reddit, on the subreddit, Chicago Bears subreddit, whose his username there is JP Analyst. So check him out. This guy's keeping the running total of the passing yards for Caleb to break the 4,000 yard mark. So check him out on. I'll put his notes in. I'll put his handle in the notes. But his X handle is J, as in JAY D Pauley. So JAYDPAULEY, JD Pauley. Check him out. And I got credit him for this because he put this fun fact in his latest update. And this is that Caleb Williams now has more 300-yard passing games in his first 5 games than Aaron Rodgers has had in his last 27 games.
Wow.
So take that.
It's like that. My edge. I think my edge just sort of slightly exploded with that stat because that's such like a fucking random, but it's sort of like, how the fuck do you figure that fucking thing out? That's such a good stat, mate. That is. Well, I'll have to check him out, mate, if he's doing work like that. That's a great stat.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm following it now because he's adding the yards every week just the chase to 4,000. So, and as he put down there, to get 4,000 yards at the start of the season, he needed 235 yards per game. He's currently year to date so far is at 218 yards per game. So to get to 4,000 yards for the season, Caleb Williams needs to throw for two average of 243 yards per game from here on in, and he'll get 4,000. So
it's doable.
Isn't it? The way he's improving. I mean, we've got the gauntlet at the end of the season, haven't we? That is going to be brutal. Our division games, but the good thing is the league was kind to us in the way they set our schedule up. Is that he's got time to get us rolling. So if knock on wood, injuries, barring injuries, we could be in some really good shape to really start facing our division rivals, because it's a tough division, isn't it? It's got to be the toughest division in football right now.
I think it's definitely the toughest division in football now, especially every team's over 500 as well, and everybody seems to just cope with each other really quickly over this last couple of seasons. I just think because we've got like back-to-back divisional games, aren't we, coming up like in the last third of the season? So hopefully, it'll be more and more sort of settled, and if he's performing like he has been doing, then that's going to be so interesting to watch, man, to see how he does. But especially like as well with the weather, I think the wind were quite swirling a lot on Sunday, and I heard people say they were really happy how he sort of coped with the wind. There was quite a strong wind, and it were quite going from one end to the other. So, he's definitely got the arm strength to play at Soldiers Field, because, it can be difficult for quarterbacks with the wind coming from the lake and all that sort of thing, and how the weather deteriorates in November. So, hopefully when we get to that crunch time, he's going to be running, he's going to be on it. Yeah. So, cool. So, anything more you want to discuss about the previous game, or?
Just general observations, really. The penalties. We had the game before. We had a load of penalties, which was like not very good, was it? We had far too many. We obviously reined them in a bit this week. 5 penalties for 46 yards. 2 of them, though, I've got to say, were absolute bollocks. So the holding call on Swift when he was getting rolled over by an offensive defender coming at him. What's that about? I just couldn't believe that. They called it. I can't. Even the analyzers, and they're usually pretty kind of like on the fence. They were like, "Yeah, I don't understand that." And then the other one was the pass interference on Tyree Stevenson. What? It was so weak, man. And I think maybe it could have been. I think it was early on. There could have been like defensive. What's the word? Like contact, illegal contact kind of thing. So it shouldn't have been pass interference. So if anything, maybe it should have been illegal contact on 5 yards, not a pass interference call. And then the other one, the late hit on Caleb, I think he was out of bounds, wasn't he, when he got levelled by that defender? Just saying, it's those sort of things kind of annoy me. But yeah, turnovers again. We won the turnover battle. Go on, mate. So you want to say something?
I was going to say, because that's happened to him before as well. I can't remember which game it was. Might have been against the Colts when he got massively out of bounds. Yeah. And they didn't throw the flag, and that was so annoying. I mean, it was a bit like, I just thought they don't sort of look at him like they did do with Justin Fields, because I think Justin never got the calls because he was so athletic and such a good run. I mean, especially when we played the Packers end of last year, where, man, that was such a fucking dirty hit by that Packers defensive back on him, when he was sliding.
It was Jonathan Owens.
Fucking whack bastard. So, we'll move on from last week's game, man.
Hold on, mate. One more quickly, because I just want to the other thing in general stuff. It's just like on defense. I always look at third downs because they're really important, aren't they? When you can get teams off the field. Defensively, we're doing pretty good still. We allowed 3 out of 12 conversions on third down, and for our offense, I mean, you always want best of both, don't you? We managed to we converted 4 of 11. So 11. I kind of that's again like those are the sort of things you want to get a little bit higher. But overall, we won the turnover battle, and the thing is that we got to punish the teams for getting the takeaways, and we did. We got 16 points off turnovers, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. So that's what you've got to really do as a good football team, is when someone gives you an opportunity, you absolutely exploit it, and that's what they've been doing. So stats-wise, Caleb is currently with his improvement. He's now I was perusing the stats generally for quarterbacks, this afternoon, and he's getting kind of middle of the pack now. So. Right. Sorry, I'm just laughing at Carl's comment there. My little soundbite he uses. I'll get to the chat after this, if that's right, just to say hello to everyone and answer questions. But so he's doing pretty well. He's middle of the pack. He's learning the NFL, and he's starting to perform and leading that team, and I love it. And if you look at some of the other stats, he's actually got, and it's just to show how it's a team game. So one little thing, people pick up on certain stats or aspects of the game and use that as something against somebody, but Caleb has fewer interceptions than Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Jordan Love. Just saying that, fewer interceptions than those guys. And also, he has more yards per game passing than Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, and Justin Fields. So,
what, more than Josh Allen? Wow, that's surprising.
Yep. That's what I mean. We got ourselves a quarterback, mate. I'm telling you. Life's good. The future's bright, man. We're going to just keep it rolling. That's what I'm hoping for. So that is my kind of wrap up of the last game, if you're happy with that. So can I just say hello to the chat then? So we just say thank you to everyone for joining us. Really appreciate you coming along and joining in. So Shorty's in the chat there. Hello, mate. Patty's there. Carl, of course. Squeegee's joined us again. Thank you so much for your comments. We'll get to your questions. You mentioned a couple of good things here earlier. Who else? I saw Ant Mass, spare down, brother. He's welcome to the show. Squeegee, Carl. I think that's it. I kind of covered everyone out. Oh, Mo Lester. Well, I'm Foster. You so. He's in the house as usual. And Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez. He said, "What's up, guys? Excited for the game." You are damn right. I'm excited for Sunday. We're going to talk about that later, but I'm flipping hyped, man. I just excited. In case you hadn't picked it up on it, I haven't mentioned it before. So this is good. Yeah, I'm going on Sunday, and it's going to be my first in-person live Bears game. So I am so freaking excited for Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah,
is this your first ever live NFL game then?
Yeah.
So you never went to any like the preseason games back in the day or anything like that when you were younger?
No.
Awesome. It's going to be fucking great.
Yeah.
It'll be good as well because you know the stadium as well. Your dad will know the stadium because he's a Spurs season ticket holder, and I know when you tell me where you're going to be sit, it's going to be you're going to be right in the middle of the action, mate.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I'm just really happy for you, man. I'm really happy for you that I had my sort of Bears time last year, seeing them live, and I'm so happy that you got the opportunity to have that experience because there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it over here regarding the atmosphere and seeing it live and all that sort of thing. So, it's good. Yeah, take some shots and we'll bubble up on next week's show.
I need to speak to Foster or someone and just to see how I can, if I take some video, see if I can share it. I'll find out how to do it next week. I can share it on the show or whatever. That'll be brilliant to just sort of.
That'd be awesome.
I mean, because of this, I have got a YouTube channel, so I could always just stick it on there. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll talk to someone and see if we can get you guys some footage from my amazing front row seats we've got. So yeah, I'll try and get some action. But it's I'm not one for spending the whole time just looking through my phone screen, by the way. But I like to just be there. I'll try and get some stuff. So we'll see how we go. But
I'm the same, mate. I mean, when I went last year, I took like a few pictures, but I just want to watch the game. If I want to see the replays of certain players, I can see it on TV. So just do what you want to do, mate.
Yeah, but one more then. Yeah, so Squeegee mentioned this. Yeah, so I remember picking this up from Swifty's show a while ago, talking about the change with with Shane Waldron, is using the Erhard Perkins system, which is a much simpler way of calling plays. And he says, you guys remember he was talking about knowing when Caleb mastered the Erhard Perkins system. That's the no huddle, hurry up stuff they ran against Carolina. Caleb is officially dangerous. You're damn right he is, Squeegee. Yeah. When he can sit now, he's seeing the field using his checkdowns. He's picking up what the defenses are showing him. It's just it's what we wanted to see is improvement every week, and then run the offense, and then he gets to show off his talent. Man, I said that second pass to DJ is elite. Just love it. Love that second touchdown pass.
A little bit of protection. You can tell the difference when he has the protection, especially like up the middle as well. So he's getting a bit of a pocket. Yeah. The boy can do it. Do you know what I mean? All the way through his college career, there's a reason why he got picked number one, because he's the best fucking quarterback that's come out in a long time. I know Jalen Daniels for the Washington Redskins is getting a lot of hype, but I just can't believe that system can last them throughout the year, because it's quite a collegiate system. I'm sure defensive guys are gonna figure out how to close that system down. I think what we're asking Khalid to do is a lot more technical.
Exactly
checkdowns.
Yeah, exactly. And I was looking again at the quarterback stats this afternoon, and the only way that Jaden Daniels is like miles ahead of Caleb is in his completion percentage. But as J2K, I watched J2K on the Nomad Network a while ago, and he made a really good point that the way they're playing it, and it's exactly what you said. The Commanders are keeping things really straightforward. They're running simple options, simple schemes that suit him for coming out of college. So he's going to have to start to learn more complex stuff as the season goes. And he's now put stuff on tape. So teams are going to start to scheme against him. Whereas with Caleb, they have just thrown everything at him from the start. They've just said, right, we believe you're smart enough to run this offense. And they've just thrown him right into the deep end. And that's why we saw early on he struggled a bit. Because he had to pick it up and run a whole NFL offense instead of just picking out some simple schemes. And now you can argue about the play calling, which I agree with. They should have made some changes there. But they're moving that forward now as well. So everything about the whole scheme is improving. They're running better better play calling, better offensive line play, and better play from Caleb Williams and also from all of our playmakers. Apart from obviously the one drop, very unusual drop from DJ Moore, which would have been first down. But we can live with it. We won 36-10, so yeah, we'll move on from that. But that's the big difference, and I think we'll see that as the season progresses. I think it's a good chance that we'll see Jaden Daniels not quite be doing so well, but. Again, we'll see what happens. Good luck to him if he does well.
That's going to be a fascinating game as well when we play Washington. Week's time. It's going to be a really good game,
and that'll be the big story, won't it? It'll be Caleb against Jaden.
So a bit, your typical narratives, but that should be a good game, and I think we usually do quite well against Washington. But yeah, we'll move on to the Jags game, man. So the Bears have set off to London. So I think imagine they're probably in London right now, actually.
They are, yeah. They left last night, didn't they? Yeah.
So I'm glad they did that because I know when they came over last time they played the Raiders, they came pretty late-ish, and it could look so sluggish. They look jet lagged. They look flat. And also as well, I just think it gives them time to get used to the time difference. Just give them a few training sessions just to get the body going again. And also as well, I think it's a really good thing for a team to be together like that. Obviously, hopefully they'll have a chance to see a few of the sites and put down to your house and have a beer. But I think it's really good for team building as well when you have like a week together like that, especially from the game what they just come from. So everybody's going to be in good spirits and really looking forward to playing the Jags. But yeah, I mean the Jags. I'm glad they got the first victory out of the way last week against the Colts. I think Trevor Lawrence. He threw well over 300 yards, but I think their passing offense is like 30th. But they have got a good running offense. I think that's about 11 in the NFL. Their running attack. So, 8th, sorry.
Yeah.
I've been lied to.
Sorry, beg your pardon. No, you're right. I'm wrong. That's their run defense.
Yeah. So, like the running back, they've got a good running game. So, that's
right. Yeah.
And so I think that's a little bit of a worry because we do get sort of a bit. Like what happened against Carolina when they got that first touchdown with Hubbard. So that's a bit worrying. But I think our defense, even without Briscoe, I think our defense can close them down. I think our defensive backs are far superior to our wide receivers. I think if we get pressure on Lawrence, then he's not been having a great season. Really, I don't think he has statistically wise. They're definitely not been winning. So if our defense can perform like they've been doing, and then our offense can continue, how they did against the Panthers, then I think it's a Bears win, mate. I really do. So what are your thoughts about the Jag game? Apart from you going there. Excuse me, going there.
Did I mention I'm going to London and watch the Bears? I don't know if I mentioned that at all, but I'm going.
I think you mentioned that times, Jason.
Sorry. I know I don't mean to rub it in, mate, because I know you can't make it this year. But
I'm one of these people where I'm happy that you're getting experience. That's stuff for me. I'll watch it on TV, and all that. And I think we're doing a barfly show after the game. But yeah, I'm just happy that you're getting a chance what I got last year to see me. You know what I mean? And especially go with your dad as well. That's a really cool thing as well. Yeah. What are your thoughts about the upcoming game, mate?
So, their last game, Trevor Lawrence had a career game, actually. Most yards he's ever thrown in 371 yards he had, 28 completions of 34 attempts, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a rating of 119.5. They had 126 yards on the ground. So, again, that's something we need to be aware of with our run defense performing the way it is. Bigsby had 101 yards and 2 touchdowns, so he's one of their big playmakers. That's the big thing that stuck out was they had several explosive plays last weekend. So yeah, Tank Bigsby had a 65-yard touchdown run. We need to be on our guard for that after last week, and we got gashed a few times, haven't we, at the middle. Brian Thomas Jr., the rookie, who was highly rated coming out of college, wasn't he? He had 85-yard touchdown reception. Christian Kirk had a 61-yard pass, catch to set up a touchdown. And Devin Duvernay had a 53-yard punt return. So they've had some explosive plays last weekend. So we need to be aware of them breaking something, definitely. So that's their main threat. But yeah, you talk about getting pressure on Lawrence. That's one thing I noticed. That's I consider as one of their strengths this weekend. Their O-line protection the last 2 weeks has been pretty damn good, actually. They've kept him clean, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, which is why he was able to stand in the pocket and pick the Colts apart. The week before against Houston, this is the Texans, they only allow 1 sack. So, yeah, I know. And then this week just gone, like this weekend, they had 0 sacks and only allowed 1 pressure the entire game. So their O-line is going to give us a bit of a challenge. But with our front four, the way they're performing, you've got to be positive, haven't you? It's our pass rush is pretty good. Yeah. So our pass defense is ranked 6th in the league at the moment in terms of yards per game. And of course, our defense in general in points per game is 5th, in only 17 a game. So they have some talent there. They've got Tank Bigsby, they've got Travis Etienne, of course, the running back who had a small part to play last weekend. And then Brian Thomas Jr. and Christian Kirk are their 2 main receiving weapons. So they're not, they're no mugs. We just saw what they did to the Colts last weekend. There are some weaknesses though. They haven't had many turnovers. They're not really getting. Not takeaways. Rather, they didn't have any takeaways all season until in the first 4 weeks until the last game where they managed to recover a strip sack. So they're not really ball hawking at the moment, which stands us in good stead. And their defense has allowed the 2nd most yards per game. So their defense is leaking.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Yeah. Average of 287 passing yards against them every game, and that's the worst in the NFL. So
and I think their point against them is quite bad as well. I think that's quite. I think they let a lot of points per game.
You're correct. You've been doing your research. I'm proud of you, man.
Because I keep thinking I can't let Jason do all the stats. It's not fair, like I was saying last. I kept going. With that your stats would have only like a half an hour share. So I thought I need to pull my weight a little bit. You know what I mean? But you are the stat man, and I'm not the stat man really. But
I'm the stats. You're the eye candy.
I'm the looks. You're the brains.
That's it, exactly. You're right that their defense is in points per game. They're 30th. They give up 28 points a game. They're giving up. So there's a good, if we play to, what we've shown so far, the both of us. Shorty saying, wait, what's the worst in the NFL? Shorty, the Jags are bottom in the NFL in pass defense. They've allowed 287 yards per game passing, which is the worst in the NFL, or the most in the NFL. So their run defense is actually not bad. They're eighth in the NFL in terms of yardage, 105 yards. So their run defense is pretty stout. So yeah, we've got to watch out for the big plays. Last time they were 3 for 10 on 3rd down with their offense, so they could only convert 30%, so we can keep that going. So yeah, that's a good sign, a good thing we can sort of exploit. And maybe also their red zone visits. They have 4 visits to the red zone, came away with 2 touchdowns. So they're not ruthless, and that's what we need to try and make the most of. So if we can get pressure on him. Our pass defense, like I say, is currently the 6th best ranked in the league in terms of yards per game. And yeah, we've got a chance of getting after him if we just stop the big runs mainly, I think. Their pass rush, of course, has got to be mentioned. They've got Josh Hines Allen, formerly Josh Allen. I think he's changed his name to differentiate himself from that Buffalo quarterback. And Trayvon Walker, who was a first-round pick a couple of years ago in the draft of Aiden Hutchinson. So in the last game, they've had 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and 5 quarterback hits. So they're pretty good up front. So hopefully our O-line can build on the good performance from this weekend and keep it rolling. So could be an interesting battle up front with their D-line against our O-line. But we know that as from the last 2 weeks, Caleb under pressure is currently one of the best in the NFL from what we've seen. Yeah. So
sorry, mate. It always boils down to the trenches, doesn't it? Let's be honest. If we can win the trenches, then you're halfway winning a game there. You know what I mean? And I just think our D line's on fire with Dexter and Billings, and I mean, I would like to see Sweat get some more stats. I know he's sort of getting a lot of pressures, but I think he's only got one sack on it so far this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, but then again, he's probably taken a lot of pressure away from the opposite defensive end. He's probably getting double teamed all the time, which helps us as much, for the middle guys to get the quarterback up the middle. But yeah, I mean, I think they're going to win this game, mate. It's a Bears home game. Do they still? Because I know we've got have we won 8 games in a row at home now?
8 home games in a row win. Yeah, longest win streak in the NFL at home.
Yeah. So if we win on Sunday, are they still going to class that?
Does it count? I know. Yeah.
Aren't they really?
What do you mean if we win on Sunday?
I mean, when we win on Sunday. Sorry. And they can't lose. They can't lose with you going to your first NFL.
Not when I'm going, exactly. Yeah.
But are you one of these people who's quite lucky when you go and see your team play live, or I know you see soccer quite a lot.
I used to go and watch the soccer a lot, yeah, and I can't say I was lucky there watching Reading, that's for sure.
No, Leeds United.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I think it'll just be what it'll be. So I'll be wearing all my shirts to make sure the lucky shirt is on at the same time. I'll have my t-shirt, my hoodie, and then I'll be wearing my white Walter Payton shirt with my orange beanie hat. So look out for me behind the benches. I'll be about the 25-yard line ish, I think, in row 1 behind one of the. I'm hoping it's the Bears bench I'm behind. So we'll see.
If you're behind the Bears team,
I don't know. But I'll
keep a lookout, mate. I'll keep a lookout. Yeah. Have a little placard. But yeah, I mean, it was you're just gonna have such a great time, man. But I think we're gonna win, and I think I'm gonna do a score prediction. I think we're gonna beat them 28-21. I think it'll be quite tight, just due to it not being in London. But I think we're better than them. I really do. And I'm glad, like I said before, I'm just glad they got that victory out of the way last week against the Colts. Yeah. And they're only going to come over this week anyway, because they're playing obviously the following week. So it's not like they've got an advantage of them being there longer than the Bears are there in London to climatise themselves. So I think that ain't going to make a difference. I'm definitely going to go Bears win, mate. Definitely, just because you're going.
Oh, thanks, mate. Ant Mass says 24-21. Yeah, he's feeling on the same way as you, that there's going to be a tighter game because of the travel. But yeah, you're right. They're coming over now. It's their first game of 2, isn't it? So I'm quite glad that we're not playing them in the second game when they've been here for a couple of weeks and are up to speed. So I think I'm hoping we're going to perhaps approaching 30 points again. Again, it really depends on their pass rush, how successfully we can hold them guys off. So we need our O-line to have a good game again. So I'm gonna go.
Go on.
I'm gonna say 27-17 Bears.
Good.
Yeah.
I like a good 10-point difference.
Yeah, that'll do. We're actually favourites, aren't we? I think we're is it 3.5-point favourites according to the current betting?
So yeah, I thought we would be favourites just due to the record. They're 1-4 out. So. Yeah, I mean, it's just you're just gonna have such a cool time, man. So, what's sort of what's your plan of action for the day? What time you setting off? And
we are going to get there. My old man's picking us up at 10. Picking me up. We're going to leave mine at 10 o'clock and drive into sort of I think it's North London. We're going to get got a place he parks and then gets the train into town. So we're going to do that. We're going to get there in time for the place opening up. But I'm going to go and have a wander around into the sort of fan zone. I didn't know whether to try and go to maybe one of the Bears nominated bars. But the one they've officially nominated is actually in Victoria, so it's quite a way out.
Yeah, that's way out, isn't it?
Yeah, so, come on, Shorty, keep up, man. He says, what was Caleb's QBR this last game? I don't know about QBR. I know his passer rating was 126.2, but I don't know about QBR. I think it was 83 or 86 or something like that.
I think it was something around that number.
Yeah. So, BCP, this is, again, Shorty's saying 34-16 Bears. Oh, that's nice. Foster. Sorry, Foster saying that, is it?
That's nice, Foster. I like that, mate.
Yeah, I'll take that. Hey, Steve, New Breeds. Welcome, man. Good to see you.
How you doing, mate?
Detroit versus nobody. But he's the nice Detroit fan.
Actually. He is. He's got a bit of respect.
He's a top guy. I'm glad that the Lions are going well, obviously, until they see us. So maybe see you again in the NFC Championship game, potentially. Yeah. But Steve, I'm glad
you are calling it now, man. Like last week, you didn't really want to do like a game prediction. Now you predicted the NFC Championship.
What can I say? I'm all giddy. I'm going to the game.
Super Bowl or bust for you guys.
That's it. All or nothing. It's like over here or over here, isn't it? You know.
That's it. So I live my life there.
Yeah. Patty Lara says 21-17.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close one.
Yeah. So I think most of us are saying we're going to keep them under 21 again, which would be nice. But I think that's the key. And that's what was really pleasing about the last game is that we played football across the board, didn't we? Really good defense, really good offense. Again, it's the team you're playing, but they're still a professional athletes. You've got to go out there. They've got pride in what they're doing. And that's what you can do. And like you said, it's what good teams do is go and smash the bad teams. So if we'd have scraped past them, then people have been going crazy again, wouldn't they? So we didn't turn the ball over. We got our takeaways. We got our pressure. We had a great, we kept them under 130, 170 yards passing, whatever it was. Because that was the fear that Dalton would sort of pick us apart.
Right.
Great game all round. The quietest part of the game was special teams for a change. So, unfortunately, they weren't needed, were they? So we seemed to score touchdowns every time we got the ball. Yes. But,
so going back to you there, then you're gonna hang around the stadium, see what's going on. Have they got any? Because I've only ever been to like the games at Wembley, so obviously there's quite a bit of space around Wembley Stadium where they had like a zone and stuff like that. Have they got something similar going on at Spurs ground?
Yeah. There's a fan zone on the map. It shows there's going to be an area with stuff going on. So I'm going to go to the club shop and buy some gear again. Probably just put more on my credit card, get some more stuff. Yeah.
Expensive on them club shops.
I know. Yeah, exactly. But everything else, most of the other stuff I bought, I got from the Bears official shop anyway. So I paid international shipping. So yeah. But I'm going to have a look around and pick up the atmosphere, see some fans, get a few beers, go to the fan zone, get in there early. And just go and maybe watch the warm-ups and stuff. So
I love that. I love watching the warm-ups. Yeah. I mean, like we went to the Soldiers Field last year. We did a bit of tailgating before the show, and I met some incredible people, and everybody was so generous. And I met Michael McCaskey twice, and all that. But I did really enjoy that, even though I was hungover like fuck for both of them. That's my fault. But like. It's just like I just love getting into the ground and just seeing the players warm up, and you just feel the stadium starting to fill up, and you feel the buzz in the air. And I think the ground at Spurs will be. I mean, it just looks such a good atmosphere. I mean, it was really good last Sunday. The Vikings Jets game, the atmosphere looked really good and sounded really good. So you can have a great time, mate. You really are.
You see that the Jets have fired the head coach as well today.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently, I read they had to get escorted out by security. I don't know.
Brilliant.
Apparently, he didn't know anything about him. Basically, security just come and told him to pack his bags and go, sort of thing. But I mean, basically, it's another Aaron Rodgers, isn't it? It's all down to Aaron Rodgers. That is.
It's all about Aaron Rodgers, isn't it? Yeah. So there's this bit going on in the chat now about Brisker. Squeegee asked, who do you think will start in place of Brisker? To which. Shorty replied, Brisker is out. Yes, he is, Shorty. You've obviously been busy at work, mate. And then Carlos said that Brisker has not been ruled out, but he hasn't travelled, has he? So I can't imagine.
He's not going to.
I can't see they're going to fly him in on Saturday to play on Sunday.
He's ruled out, man.
I think they're going to start Jonathan Owens, aren't they? It's either that or, as Foster says, it might be Hicks. So he wants to say something. Here he comes, Foster.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody again. So I just was on the Bears roster and depth chart through the Chicago Bears website, and they've got Brisker listed as questionable, and second behind him is Elijah Hicks. So if that were to happen, Elijah Hicks is in line. I'm not saying he's going to start, but he's in line to get his first NFL start if Brisker cannot start this game. He's questionable today. Right now, he's questionable. He's not out. He's questionable.
Okay.
So I just thought I'd say that, and I wanted to show my ugly face on the show. Hi, everybody. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Screw you, too, Jason.
Shorty, in case you missed it, Shorty, it was that hit he laid on their tight end that put him out of the game. He knocked out their bloody tight end, didn't he? And caused the fumble, which we've recovered. Yeah. But it was. You could see the way he got up. But if I watched the replay, and it took him a little while to get up, and everyone was celebrating the turnover, whereas Brisker was kind of just standing there going, "What day is it?" You know, so. He laid the wood, but gave himself a concussion basically. Squeegee, you're right. He's essentially concussed himself by smashing the snot out of their tight end. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. So we think it's going to be Hicks or Owens. I think same as Shorty. I reckon Owens would probably get the shout because he's got a lot of first team. He's got starts under his belt, hasn't he? And so I think there'll not be too much drop off. So I'm happy with that. But.
Cool. Yeah. Is there any questions in the chat all? Anything what we missed?
I think we've kind of answered them all, haven't we? So that was the last one. Was Squeegee saying who do we think will start for Brisker? We've got a few more predictions. So I think where was it? Eduardo, said 21-10. So he's saying we're going to keep the score down. Yeah. I think that's about it. Yeah. I don't want to. Patty says I don't want to be greedy with her 21-17 prediction. I see what you're doing there, Patty. Yeah, under promise and over deliver. Yeah, that's brilliant. No.
Brilliant. So what we'll do then, we wrap the show up, man. I also want to say that I just thought people who are living in Florida, people who watch a show like Cliff Victoria, and also Dan, Mr. Shorty, he's in Georgia. They've had it really hard with the weather, and I know. Dan saying they went to Florida to his wife's parents' home, but they had to come back due to the weather. So I just hope everybody's safe. I know Cliff got it quite bad a couple of years ago with the storm weather. So I just hope everybody stays safe and they get through that. But the other thing is that Jason, just have a great time on Sunday, mate. Enjoy it, suck it all up, mate. And I know. You're just going to have a great time, mate. Yeah. So, as I said, we both predict to win. We're predicting that the Bears are going to roll on like we did last week. Yeah. And I think we'll leave it for today, mate. I think we'll finish. Anything you want to add before we go?
No, I think I've emptied my notebook. I'm too excited about Sunday to say anything else. So, thanks everyone for joining us. This is the British Bears Show on BCP. Tell your friends, tell your British Bears fans to come and see us. And if any of them find me on Sunday, come and have a beer with me. Thanks for joining us, everybody in the chat, and everyone watching. And thanks for you, Chris, for the show, and Foster for producing, as usual.
As usual, no problem, mate. I can put up with you for an hour. You know what I mean? It's not too bad. But just thank you for everybody who watching. I did do a bit of a marketing splurge today, so hopefully we are going to start getting some more British fans watching the show. Because obviously we'd love to have people on as guests just to discuss the games and also their fandom. So we're hoping to win, and we'll leave the show with a big fat bear down on 3. 1, 2, 3, bear down.
Bear down.